Coming up on Hoge Jahns, it's our first official game week preview episode of the 2025 season. Alec Lewis from The Athletic, who covers the Vikings, will join us. We're bringing back all the old hits, over-unders, three big questions, our game picks. It's all happening. Let's start Hoge Jahns right now. What's up? Welcome in. Hoge Jahns back with you for our first game preview episode of the 2025 season. Johnsy, we had football on the TV last night. We had drops. We had Vic Fangio and Matt Eberflus and people spitting at people, and we're back. We're fully back.
Yeah, here's my advice for every pass rusher, defensive tackle, defensive end. Do not spit on the quarterback. Don't do it. You're not going to play.
Don't spit on anybody ever.
No. The linemen are fine. I mean, if you think about it, they're probably spitting on each other unbeknownst to each other throughout the duration of the game.
Yeah, that's like having a conversation with Greg Braggs.
But
that's different.
But don't walk, well, especially at a bar, don't walk over to the quarterback between plays and spit on him. Everybody can see you. At least be more discreet with your spitting.
See, what you might have missed, though, Johns, because I know you went to bed a little early.
I saw Dak spit first.
Yeah, so, well, I don't know why it took NBC 3 hours to show us that. All of a sudden we went through an hour delay, and all of a sudden the games restarted, and they're like, oh, by the way, we have this footage of Dak. Now, I want to be very clear. Not the same thing. Definitely not the same thing. Spitting on somebody much worse than spitting in the direction of somebody. But it's still relevant because it at least explains what the hell Jalen Carter, it was like, why did you just do that out of nowhere? Did you just lose your mind? Okay, he spit in your direction. It still doesn't excuse it. He still should have been ejected, but at least we had some context for a little bit of the why, not to quote Matt Nagy here on the show, but it makes it a little bit worse. However, Jalen Carter did start it because he was standing 3 yards on the offensive side of the line of scrimmage, which is why Dak spit in his direction to begin with. Anyway, it's all fun and games. And it totally changed the game, dude. Not having Jalen Carter out there. And Dak said as much after the game. He's like, oh, yeah, we changed our fronts. We basically changed everything we were doing up front because we literally game planned against him the entire week.
How many quarterbacks against the Eagles are now going to spit in the direction of their defensive line pregame or before the first snap? Second series.
Well, they better not land any of those loogies because now we know it's an automatic ejection, which was my first takeaway. I tweeted this, like, every NFL head coach is now texting their video guy to have this queued up for the 8 a.m. meeting in the morning. Do not do this. You will get ejected.
Please don't spit on people.
Hey, welcome. And we are, I'm excited to get going here because we have our first preview episode. If you're new to the show since last season ended, and we've been doing these for 10 years now. We're in our 11th season of this show, and we've always broken down the game, gotten an opposing reporter on in these Friday episodes, and we have three big questions, which I think for the first time in the show's history is sponsored by RC Cola today.
Let's go.
So we're excited for that. We have over-unders, which we always take from you guys on Twitter, despite the fact that Elon still has our Twitter account banned for no reason. Good thing Johns and I are still live for now. And Johnsy still got your over-unders, and then we will pick not only the Bears game, but 5 other games. Typically, we always hit on the other NFC North games, and then we throw in some other ones that make sense and usually have some type of tie, especially later on in the season with the Bears. So we'll do all of that on today's show. I did find it interesting, though. John's last, I couldn't, both defenses are trying to make adjustments. And it's like on one side, you have this guy.
One word that stands out to me is complimentary football.
Right. And then on the other side, you got this guy.
All right, let's continue this love fest.
Flus versus Fangio. I enjoyed it. And quite frankly, I thought both had good games.
How many more Fangio clips do you have in there?
Your research.
Come on. You know what I'm looking for?
Probably not.
Come on.
Which one are you looking for?
Come on. You know what I'm looking for.
I don't have them all loaded, dude. We've been having some issues here. Which one are you looking for?
I was upset. JJ Stankovic.
Oh. Yeah, I think that's because that's labeled differently. That might actually be labeled under JJ's name. We could see if we can get that here. Maybe not. I don't know.
You might.
I don't know what that's labeled. Yeah. We'll find.
You might hit the expanding package one. Anyway.
Yeah.
Coordinator.
All right. Should we jump into things with Alec Lewis?
Let's do it.
Alec Lewis covers the Vikings. That's who the Bears play on Monday Night Football. Does a great job covering the Vikings for The Athletic. He's been on the show many times. And also has the Alec Lewis Show, which we believe featured Kevin Fishbane yesterday.
We actually talked to Alec yesterday at night during the Eagles-Cowboys game.
Yeah, no, good job mentioning that. We actually recorded this last night, this interview. So here's that conversation, and then we'll be back with the rest of the breakdown, 3 big questions, over-unders, the whole deal. But we start things off here with our guy, Alec Lewis. Always good to have our guy, Alec Lewis, on the show whenever the Bears and Vikings cross paths, which is quite frequently here in the NFC North. Alec, it feels like we've been waiting forever for this game. Hoping Monday gets here really, really soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'll get a text from some college friend randomly, probably getting upset at me for being somewhat optimistic about the Vikings. But I if I have to talk about this game anymore, after this, this is really putting the cherry on top of all of the conversation going back months. But can't wait for it. It will be a blast. Such a cool matchup given the stakes and the storyline. So I really can't wait. And I'm tired of all the lead up hype predictions that will probably be wrong here shortly.
Well, we've got about a dozen JJ McCarthy questions coming your way. I kid just a little bit, but if you've heard Alec on this show before, we talk about JJ McCarthy, obviously, because JJ is from around here. So he's coming home. It's his homecoming. First game as the Viking starter. What do you think? How's he feeling? What's going on in Minnesota with him?
Yeah, someone asked him on Wednesday in his presser. They were like, are you going to be able to take it in and take in the emotions? You're going to be 30 minutes away from LaGrange Park, have so many family friends there. And he's like, Minnesota is home. So we're just going to go in there, business trip, execute some football plays. And I was like, wow, nice job, JJ. Good reply. It's going to be very interesting to see how he looks. Like, I have gotten asked so many times, what was training camp like? And the best way I know how to describe it is like, there were ups, there were downs. The ups that stand in my mind, the Thursday of joint practices against the New England Patriots here in Minnesota, he completed like 13 passes in a row and just diced them like crazy. But that was the New England Patriots and that defense. So how much stock can you really put into that one day? And then there were some down days where he's, booting out of the pocket and he's trying to make a play and he's trying to fit the ball into a window and it's tipped and intercepted. And the Vikings hope that those are learning experiences. So how he looks Monday night for me is it's a mystery box, but I expect him to be revved up. I expect the environment, I expect him to be able to handle it because he's been in the brightest of lights and was in college. But it's going to be fascinating really to see how Kevin O'Connell tries to call the game to situate JJ McCarthy and position him as this thing gets going.
So how is he operationally with what he's just being asked to do right now with an offense for the first time? And we also got to keep in mind that he did have the benefit of sitting and learning this thing last year, unlike Caleb, who's, going through same draft class, but going through a whole new offense and a very complicated system.
Yeah. Pre-snap. He does seem very sharp, like very few pre-snap hiccups throughout camp. That was not an issue. And that was a priority above really everything else. The reason that JJ played in the preseason game, the first preseason game, was to really just place him in that environment and see how well things go operationally. Like, you talk to the O-lineman and how he manages the huddle, it sounds to be great. He can dissect pre-snap certain alignments and make checks and cans at the line of scrimmage, and has done that effectively. And they're fortunate too to have an experienced center in Ryan Kelly, who has been around every type of quarterback you could possibly be around. Most recently, it's been around Anthony Richardson, who was a young player. So I don't have a ton of question marks with JJ in terms of pre-snap and operationally. For me, it is once the ball is snapped, post-snap processing, accuracy, and then just decision-making on downs where you can just check the ball down or throw it away. Can he manage those situations post-snap, And if he can, I expect this offense to hum the way it always has since Kevin O'Connell's been here as a head coach.
What's his rapport like with Justin Jefferson?
Yeah, Justin had a mild left hamstring strain throughout most of camp. And so that prevented, the rapport on the field. Off the field, their lockers are right next to each other. They went to a Timberwolves game together throughout the offseason. Justin, for that level of receiver, is as supportive and cognizant, I think, of just the learning and long-term view that they want to take with JJ McCarthy, which I think is going to be very beneficial for JJ. And Justin had a camp this summer in Florida at IMG, and there were clips of him at that camp being like, if your quarterback messes up, it is incumbent upon you as the receiver to be positive, to support like him in those circumstances. So I just don't. Justin is the type of player where I just don't worry about that rapport. His route running style is different. It might take some time from a timing perspective for those guys to sync up the way that Justin was synced up with Kirk Cousins. But then I think about last year, and Sam Darnold picked it up with Justin pretty quick. So he just has the type of talent that I don't really worry about. But it will be interesting to see them like in live reps for the first time in a while, frankly.
Is there a chance that Christian Darrisaw doesn't play in this game? Since, we got our first injury report today, and he was a DMP with that knee.
Yeah, the Vikings didn't put out an injury report on Wednesday, and Christian took a lot of reps in that practice. And the way they have approached his rehab really for weeks and months now is they kind of ramp him a day, and then they give him a day to recover, and then they kind of see how he responds and pick it up the next day. So I would not be surprised if on Friday he's limited in some regard. Now, if you ask me right now, do I think he plays? I might lean on the side of yes, I do. But I would say the Vikings tend to take these serious knee injury rehabs with a very like they just don't force guys back into action. TJ Hawkinson last year, it seemed like he was ready to return pretty, somewhat early in the season, and then they kept him out a couple extra weeks. But it's a great question for you guys and for the folks listening to this. It's a massive part of the game because Justin School, who is their backup, a guy signed from Tampa Bay who played in 5 games last year, he was beaten pretty handily all training camp by a really good pass rusher in Jonathan Grenard. And that would, whether it's Montez or whether it's Dio, it would be a really tough test for Justin School and would probably just affect the cushioning around JJ that they really want to have around him as this thing gets rolling.
How do you think Brian Flores will attack Caleb Williams in this one? Does he blitz every single down? He blitzes a bunch. I know that. Or does he maybe drop a few guys in coverage that the Bears aren't expecting to?
Yeah, it's a great question. I have started to do a thing covering the Vikings where before every game, I write to myself, what I think he's going to do. And then after Sunday happens, in this instance, Monday night, it's like, how off was I? How right was I? Because Brian Flores' creativity and strategically is just at a level, there's no comparison here. It's just like, why does he end up producing the game plan that he does is such a question and fascination for me. And in this instance, like I think the conventional thing would be, okay, Brian Flores, this blitz happy guy, he lines up 7 like it's a punt block, and he just, comes at you from all areas. I wonder, Jahns, kind of like you mentioned there, if they take the opposite approach where it is, we are going to try to make Caleb hold the ball, try to take away his first read and make that first read muddy, and then see if, as he resets, can he be accurate down the field? And then does he even have enough time to get the ball off, or does he just have to scramble outside the pocket? Like, I would not be shocked if that's kind of the route that they go. I will say this, though. These game plans against Ben Johnson over the last 2 years, whatever it begins with, like both of them, the Ben Johnson versus Brian Flores matchup, the secret sauce and what makes these as fun as as they've been in terms of matchups is how quickly they adjust on the fly. Like, I remember talking to Harrison Phillips, who's no longer on the Vikings, last year, and he said a matchup against Ben Johnson is like you're sitting at the computer trying to decide, do we buy the dip of a certain investment or do we sell off now? Because things might be going really good, but they're going to adapt. And so do we adapt before they adapt, or do we just stick with what's going well? Like, it is that level of on the fly, just adaptations and adjustments. That is why I mean, in terms of storylines, I could talk about Ben Johnson against Brian Flores forever, because both these guys are so good at their craft and they are both so savvy in game in a way that's hard to pick up as a media member, frankly.
Wow, a coach that adjusts in game. I don't know how.
Have we covered this before?
Yeah, I don't know how we're going to get used to that here, if that's really how this thing plays out Monday night. No, I totally there with you, Alec. I mean, look, every NFL game, most NFL games will say that, are really hard to predict. But when you talk about even just the success Ben Johnson's had against Brian Flores, but knowing that was with a different team with different players, it's hard to know how that's going to carry over with this team.
Well, if you go back and watch the film of the 4 games they played against each other the last 2 years, you'll see some common themes. You'll see like condensed formations with 2 tight end sets. You'll see deep in-breaking routes. You'll see Jahmyr Gibbs going off. So the questions I have is, are they going to be able to protect long enough to be able to hit those deep in-breaking routes? Can Caleb Williams be accurate on those throws the way that Jared Goff has been? Is DeAndre Swift going to be able to break tackles the way that Jahmyr Gibbs has been able to in Detroit? Like, that's why, I mean, the unpredictability, like we're talking about, it's so tough here, because you're just trying to match, like, a guy who is as great of a coach as Ben Johnson is. What does it look like with different personnel? It's always like, is it Jimmy and Joe's for X's and O's? But like, they blend together. You can only do certain things from an X's and O's perspective if you have the Jimmys and Joes. So it's gonna be really interesting to watch.
Speaking of those Jimmys and Joes, are there any other injuries or any other roster updates we should be looking or watching for coming into Monday night?
Yeah, for the Vikings, the main one besides Christian Darrisaw is Harrison Smith, who has played for 90 years and he hasn't practiced since early August with a personal health situation, and that's about as deep as I'll go for now. But he's navigated this. He's been in the building of late. He took part in walkthrough on Wednesday. It was a DMP on Thursday. We'll see about Friday and beyond. But why his absence is such an important thing to watch is part of the reason the Vikings have been so good defensively the last 2 years of Brian Flores is they check into the optimal play pre-snap. And one of the main hubs of communication orchestrating those checks is Harrison Smith. And then you also don't have Cam Bynum at safety, who signed with the Indianapolis Colts through free agency. So you're dealing with a safety group of potentially, if Harrison doesn't play, and we'll see if he plays or not, Theo Jackson, who's never had a full-time role, potentially Jay Ward or Tavier Thomas. Josh Metellus is a very reliable player, but he usually doesn't play the deep safety role. So that would be a very big one in the secondary if the Vikings don't have him, and we'll just evaluate it over the next few days.
What questions did you have for Kevin Fishbane on your podcast, and can we answer them more completely and better here for you now?
Yeah, I mean, I was trolling about Northwestern, so we started there.
Nice.
Off to a great start.
Which I'm sure all the people who went to Northwestern listening to this are just going to love me after that. Asked them how to get Joe Buck. Asked them how he's, how he's able to, he's paying a producer, like is breaking in doing that well. That's a question I have for him. I mean, I will say on a serious note, like, the Jalen Johnson thing fascinates me. If he doesn't play and it's Nashawn Wright, who used to be here, who the Vikings acquired for Andrew Booth, who was a real quick bust from a 2022 draft pick. Like that was something I asked him about. I asked him about running backs and pass protection, which shows the nerd that I am, but he's also a nerd, so it worked out. So we went a lot of ways with it, and his internet was awful, and it was really embarrassing for a podcast host to be in a situation like that.
Yeah, he's learning. He's just breaking in.
You're dropping a Mike Tirico interview on the day of the first game when Tirico's calling. You're doing the same thing with Joe Buck Monday. You're trying to keep it some state secret, and then your internet just sucks. So if you want to see more of Kevin's awful internet, you should check out the Alec Lewis show, though, because I'm sure it was a great interview. I can't wait to watch it.
We hit all the Bears classics. He's doing the Chicago radio call-in impersonation. He played the hits, and that's what we wanted on the show. But no, it's going to be very fun in there Monday night. I cannot wait. Was talking to one of JJ's high school coaches earlier today, and I don't know how many guys from Nazareth or that area are going to be there, but kind of wild.
Yeah, I do have one more serious question about the Vikings' outlook here. This is probably more big picture, the season, rather than how much it'll all play out Monday, because we know all these guys are going to be healthy, but $267 million in free agency, which was second most in the NFL. And three of what I would call like the big four fish that they signed up with the defensive and offensive lines are 30 years or older. Typically in this league, that doesn't work, spending that much money on guys over 30. And all four of the guys were also banged up at times last year. So what is your level of confidence that this is going to work out the way the Vikings want it to work out, which is obviously, hey, we just made our defensive lines and offensive lines a lot better, and everybody's going to play 17 games, and we're going to be a better football team?
Yeah, it's very astute of you to bring. Like, I think I was asked earlier today, are you surprised the over-under where the Vikings are? And it's like, no, unequivocally no. You have such uncertainty at quarterback. You have like the durability questions are everywhere, including the specific signees that they made, be it Ryan Kelly, Will Fries, Jonathan Allen, Javon Hargrave. And these were like serious injuries. Like Will Fries, it was a serious right tibia injury, and he's a massive guy. And so what does that look like? Jonathan Allen, dealt with, I believe it was like some type of quad injury. Javon Hargrave, it was like the bicep. I mean, there were a lot of, Ryan Kelly has navigated a lot of stuff. So we'll see. The Vikings' approach leading up to this year was very much like, we're going to buy low on younger guys and hope that in our systems they progress. And it's worked phenomenally. I mean, last year, Jonathan Grenard, Andrew Van Ginkel, Blake Cashman, a year before that, Byron Murphy Jr., like all of those guys were just massive hits at low cost, young guys who have become core pieces of this team's future. And this year, it was a different kind of approach. Now, is that because that was just what the free agent Bart, like Ben, presented to them? Was that because they really see, Javon Hargrave, his pressure rate since 2021 is higher than Aaron Donald, Quinnen Williams, Chris Jones, and players like that. So, like, if Javon Hargrave can stay healthy, you can totally look back on it and be like, that's a brilliant kind of approach. But they are spending, to your point, I think it's $364 million in cash on this roster. That's the most in the NFL that any team is spending on their roster. So the bet is big. And you've extended Kevin O'Connell, you've extended Kwesi Adofo-Mensah. They haven't won a playoff game in 3 seasons, and there's been a ton of success. And it's been fun for a lot of people here. But if you guys know this is a bottom line thing. And if they don't start to win in the postseason, the questions and the pressure and the heat is going to be cranked up. That's just the nature of it.
True.
All right. And I think that's a fair look at it. Another reason why I'm fascinated with how this division plays out this season, because there's a lot of outcomes for pretty much all 4 teams. So what do you think? Monday night, what happens?
I think the Vikings are going to win. Homer pick, absolutely. First the Jalen Johnson thing, and then the TJ Edwards being DNP, like those are 2 key players for this defense. I also, I'm curious about this Bears front, like Dio, Grady Jarrett at his age, Montez Sweat coming off the year that he had, Jervon Dexter against the run. Like, I have certain questions about that group. I expect the Vikings to want to pound the rock and put JJ McCarthy in as advantageous of positions as possible. And then I just have so much trust in Brian Flores and what their front 7 is this year. Like, this front 7 has the potential, in my opinion, to be one of, if not the best in the NFL. Jonathan Grenard looks like he's on another level. Dallas Turner has really come on, former first-round pick. Javon Hargrave and Jonathan Allen are healthy, and they do look great as of right now. So I just think the Vikings are going to be able to go in and win there. I will say this: the reactions to this game on Tuesday morning, regardless of what happens, are going to be just maniacal. If the Vikings crush the Bears and JJ throws for 4 touchdowns, he and Kevin O'Connor be heralded as the greatest tandem to ever do it. If the Vikings struggle and the Caleb and Ben Johnson go off, it is going to be the new era, the greatest thing. And it's just so funny to me because it is 1 of 17. It is these 2 teams getting their feet wet. And a part of me just kind of can't wait to see what the headline tickers are on the shows that are on television for what that Tuesday morning is, because it could be as wild one way or another as it gets.
What if they both play bad? What if both quarterbacks are awful?
Is the NFC North the worst division in football?
There you go.
Who's got to step up in this division? That's how it goes. But look, I expect a close game. I wouldn't be surprised if it's fairly ugly, ground and pound, just skill players in space being tackled. Like that wouldn't shock me. And I would also say this: special teams is a major area of concern for me for the Vikings. If they muff punts, muff kicks, are brutal punting the football, I'm not going to be surprised at all. And if they lose as a byproduct of that, that is it solely falls on the people internally for not positioning the Vikings special teams in a better place. That's just kind of how I'll leave it.
Is Felton the guy that's going to return?
I think it's going to be Miles Price, this undrafted returner from Indiana. He's muffed at least 3 punts in practice over the last 3 weeks. And they're just rolling the dice here on kicks and punts with the undrafted receiver out of Indiana. So maybe, and now he is dynamic. Just got to catch the ball to flash the dynamism.
There you go. There's an interesting nugget that could play out Monday night. Gotta always think special teams. Come on, guys. You guys know this. All right, Alec, whatever happens in this game, we'll be reading everything you write about it in The Athletic. Always love having the opposing view of things, and thanks for jumping on again with us.
Always fun. Thank you guys for having me. I hope my internet was better than Fishman, but yeah,
a lot.
Thank you guys. Should be a blast. Looking forward to seeing you guys up there.
See you Monday. Get ready for epic family fun. Monster Jam is coming to Rosemont. The world's most popular Monster Jam trucks and best drivers roar into Allstate Arena from September 12th to 14th. My sons have gone to this. They absolutely love it. You got to check it out.
We went to it last year.
It's loud. It's fun.
It's loud, but it's fun.
Yeah, you get the headphones. The kids are just fully engaged. in it. So anyway, the world's best drivers tear up on the dirt as they battle for the event championship in 3 competitions: racing, 2 wheel skills, and everyone's favorite freestyle, where Monster Jam trucks defy the laws of physics and do the impossible. Experience Monster Jam live and become a fan for life with an ultimate day of family fun at Allstate Arena from September 12th to 14th this year. Get ready to cheer and be amazed as massive Monster Jam trucks and world championship drivers take over Rosemont for a weekend. Tickets on sale now at www.monsterjam.com.
And our friends at Sunnyside Dispensary are here to elevate your football season. Sunnyside is your home for judgment-free shopping. They have a crazy selection with over 100 strains to choose from, with easy online ordering and in-store pickup. Wherever you're at in Illinois, Sunnyside has a location for you. They're in the city. They are as far south as Champaign, as far north as South Beloit at that Wisconsin border. So stop in the store nearest you for expert guidance from their staff. All you have to do is visit sunnyside.shop for bright buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Enter promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. And for returning customers, you can use code CHGO50. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Dispensary, bright buys every day, only for 21 plus or Illinois medical card holders. Good download of information with Alec Lewis. Jahns, I know you have some thoughts, but I did want to just set the record straight that I do have this for you.
I'd like to see him get his hands on more balls.
That's great teamwork there. I appreciate that. The soundboard is back. I think everyone listening appreciates that. If you're new here, I think you'll come to love it.
That's true. There's some classics in there. We're gonna keep. There's more coming in the show. All right. What'd you think about Alec and Vikings?
I'm kind of caught on him saying that during a joint practice, JJ McCarthy completed 13 consecutive passes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to me, that feels like something to make note of heading into Monday night. I don't mean to compare and contrast with Caleb, but at most, I'm trying to look at thinking back at my notes, maybe 4 or 5 in a row. Certainly not 13 in a joint practice setting for the Bears quarterback.
No, but
we're talking 13 consecutive passes completed in a row here.
I mean, is he definitely saying team? Because I got at least 6 in a row against the Dolphins, and then there was 2 that were dropped. I remember one of those joint practices. He wasn't getting help from the receivers, and so if you factored in the drops, I mean, his adjusted completion percentage was pretty much, it was really good. So, but yeah. I also don't know at this point how much that translates over this game. Like, it's going to be a completely different animal. It's a live game. It's Monday Night Football. Yeah. JJ McCarthy, I woke up to these tweets of him, in Bears clothes as a toddler. There's all that. There's a lot of I appreciate the quote that Alec brought up, well, Minnesota's my home now. Like, that's what you should say. But dude, we're all human beings. I mean, I coached a game at St. Ignatius last year, and I hadn't been on that football field in like 20 years. And like, it was nostalgic for me. Like, I don't care who you are. Like, you're coming home. It might not necessarily distract you during the game, but before the game, when you're not thinking about the next play, like whatever it is, like there's definitely some of that homecoming distraction element.
Well, I wonder how much meditating JJ McCarthy's going to do pregame as he did before the Michigan games.
Oh yeah, the meditation. That's right.
Right by the goalpost.
And this game's on ESPN. So they're going to have
cameras on them.
They're contractually obligated to show the meditation. I mean, do you remember that during that playoff run? It was like okay, we get it. He meditates. we don't We don't need the live shots. Maybe we'll get the live shots.
Oh, you're definitely getting the live shots.
Yeah, probably. 2 hours for the game. There he is by the goalpost. Bears fans heckling him in the background. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. All right, let's get into 3 big questions.
Let's do it. 3 big questions is brought to you by RC Cola. RC Cola is not a soft drink, just damn good cola. Are you ready, Adam?
Yeah, that's pretty good. We got to get
3 big questions is brought to
we'll
you
work
by
that.
RC
It's week
Cola.
1. It's week 1.
There we go. Is that better?
That's
RC
good.
Cola is not a soft drink, just damn good cola. I'm going to have a couple of those in the press box on Monday night. All right, here we go. Number 1. Is that better?
Yeah.
Number 1. Who finishes with better Who finishes with better numbers on Monday night? Caleb Williams or JJ McCarthy?
What the oh.
Can I give you
I need more context to that. What are we determining better numbers? Because
passing numbers?
Dak had more yards than Jalen Hurts last night, but I think I'd say Hurts
I
a
think
better
we
overall.
all know what better numbers means. Can I just read you what Jared Goff did last year? This is last year. This is Jared Goff, starting quarterback for the Detroit Lions with Ben Johnson as play caller. In a 31-29 win over the Minnesota Vikings in their first matchup, he was 22 for 25. It's an 88% completion percentage. 88% for 280 yards, 2 touchdowns, for a passer rating of 140. In their second matchup, in a win, 31-9 for the Lions, he was 27 for 33. That's a completion percentage of 81.8 for 231 yards, 1 touchdown. He did throw 2 interceptions, finished with a passer rating of 80.7, but obviously the Lions won handedly. Completion percentages again, Adam, of 88.0 and 81.8 in 2 matchups against Brian Flores for Jared Goff.
All right, so I got a higher completion percentage for JJ McCarthy in this game, but Caleb throws for more yards. You know, Jared Goff also had a game last year where he had no incompletions.
I got it right here.
I'm trying to think of which game it was, who they were playing, but I remember it happening.
That is against the Seattle Seahawks. That would be week 4 in a 42-29 win for the Lions. He was 18 for 18 for 292 yards, 2 touchdowns, a passer rating of 155.8.
All right. Yeah, so I'm going Caleb more passing yards, but JJ has a higher completion percentage. What do you think?
Where do you think Caleb's completion percentage is at?
64.
Okay. I'm going to say he's around 60.
Okay. I don't know.
How about this?
I don't know what the hell they're going to do with JJ McCarthy Monday night. I'm fascinated by it.
Who accounts for more yardage?
Well, I said that Caleb. I think Caleb has more passing yards.
What about rushing yards? No?
Oh, more overall yardage?
Yes.
Caleb probably. Yeah. JJ can move, but I don't know that he's going to scramble as much as Caleb might. Plus, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a couple design runs in there for Caleb in this game. Keep an eye on that, too.
But not many. He's not Justin Fields.
No, I'm talking like 2. But
Couple
Ben will
keepers.
scheme them up in a way where he can get 15, 20 yards on it.
Number 2. Who blitzes more on Monday night? Dennis Allen or Brian Flores?
No, Brian Flores. Yeah, Brian Flores.
So you're not buying what Alec Lewis is selling in terms of disguising things a bit and making Caleb go through his reads 1, 2, 3.
Oh, he'll do that, but that's half the game. Let me see. I think his blitz percentage last year was 49%. Yeah, 49% blitz rate last year. That might actually be since Flores got there. And yeah, so I mean, that's what he does. It's half the time he's blitzing, the other half he's showing he's going to blitz, and then he's going to back up. And you got to figure that out. And think about what Nate told us last week. Nate Tight said a great point on this. Like what he's trying to do is make you waste blockers. You either don't have enough blockers or you're wasting them because you think the pressure's coming. Now you got 2 guys standing there blocking nobody. And now you got 2 guys running routes into drop 8. And what Ben Johnson's been so good at is getting that all figured out and sorted out. But the question, so he's going to give Caleb the answers to the test. But can Caleb still execute those answers? I mean, that's the key to this whole game, in my opinion.
Would you be surprised if Dennis Allen flirts with that 44% mark? I'm going to say no, especially in week 1 against a young quarterback.
No, but I mean, I think he's going to blitz a lot. I don't think it'll be as much as Flores. And I also think a lot of that will determine on who the hell his linebackers are out there. Like, who's he blitzing? You going to trust Ruben Hippolyte to get out there? And I mean, I guess that's what he does. He comes downhill fast. That's what his strength is.
I'm thinking you're blitzing some of those defensive backs.
Kyler. Jaquan.
Like, here's your concern. If you're relying on your 4-man pass rush, I think JJ McCarthy could have a very good day.
Well, yeah, I mean, really what it comes down to is Montez Sweat needs to play like he's getting paid. And same for Dio. Those guys need to play like they're getting paid. Because otherwise the blitzes don't become as effective. If you're only getting pressure when you're blitzing, they can sort all that out and know that when you're not blitzing, they're going to have plenty of time.
Well, at points, though, in camp, that was the case. The only time they got pressure was when they were blitzing.
Yeah. That's why I'm worried. No, I mean...
So I think Dennis Allen actually might blitz more than Brian Flores, to answer this question.
Okay, let's track that. Let's track that, bring that back on Monday or Tuesday, I guess it'll be, our Tuesday morning episode.
Okay. Number 3, yes or no? After Monday night, we don't discuss Caleb Williams' part in Seth Wickersham's book, American Kings, this season again.
You know, I'm going to actually say yes. Because of course, we don't discuss. I'm going to say yes, we do not discuss Caleb Williams after Monday night. Here's the thing. And I have not received an advance copy, but I know a lot of people have. This stuff's out there. Like, I was worried that this book was going to come out and then it was going to be a big talking point the day after the game. Whatever additional stuff is in there about Caleb, I feel like it's all come out now. And we haven't been talking about it since the spring when it first came out.
So are you telling me like that ESPN article a month ago may have just taken more of the sexier things out of there?
Yeah.
Put them out as a little self-promotion to sell some books?
It's a great job by them.
Yes, I have no problem with that, but just want to call it like I saw it back then.
Yeah. What's the sexiest part in that book behind you there? Can we repurpose that, get that out there, and get some more copies?
There are a few chapters in that book that need updating. And maybe a few starring characters that can be omitted.
Okay.
That was written like right after the 2018 season.
Yeah.
So there are like some main characters that no longer work for the Chicago Bears. May need to be
like
omitted.
all of them? Pretty much all of them.
No. Like I was kind of aware writing that you're always questioning staying power, but that regime did draft 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah. So you agree I don't think we're going to be talking about it.
Do you think it's going to be brought up on the broadcast?
Probably. It's an ESPN writer. It's an ESPN
probably didn't
broadcast.
phrase this question right as I was typing it up during my coffee, but it's an ESPN writer. It's the two quarterbacks mentioned, or it's Kevin O'Connell and Caleb Williams mentioned in it. I think for sure there's a talking point or at least a passing reference about the book.
Yeah, I think it comes up at some point because I think it goes on sale Tuesday morning, right? Like officially, that's when you can pick it up. Okay. Should we get the over-unders?
Yes, we can.
All right.
Those three big questions are brought to you by RC Cola. RC Cola is not a soft drink, just damn good cola.
Especially with tavern-style pizza, which sounds really good on a Friday night.
It's honestly like the perfect pair.
What? That's got me going. I'm going to do some RC Cola and some tavern-style pizza. We got football tonight. We got high school football. We got Brazilian football. We got what the Brazilian football would actually be soccer, but you know what I mean. We got Chiefs Chargers tonight in Brazil. Who's Notre Dame playing?
Notre Dame is playing St. Charles East in St. Charles. A little bit too far for my driving taste, but I will be watching. I just got the text right now. The Don streaming link is here, so it'll be broadcast apparently live on YouTube, just like us.
I've said this before, but Notre Dame students that do their broadcast program, whatever they're doing there, digital media, it's phenomenal. They do a really good job.
Yeah, they do. It's fun.
It's like a really good broadcast and good, like it's produced well. So yeah, we got Lake Forest at Lake Forest.
Well, that's usually a good game between you two, right?
Yeah. We have every year I've coached there. We've played them and they've all been close. I think we've won 3 out of the 4 they got us last year at our place, but all of them have been pretty good games. So it should be another. And Lake Forest they've got a good setup over there. Their games. Yeah. Got the grills going. It just smells good.
I remember
like high school football.
Yes. Oh, the burning meat.
Yeah. Well, they have like this huge concessionary right behind one of the goalposts, and they're grilling there, and like the smoke literally just wafts over the field, which is probably not great for the players huffing and puffing throughout a football game. But like, I don't know if you're not playing,
getting hungry. Yeah. My first visit to that stadium, Lake Forest, I'm getting off tangent now, was to go there to do a story on Tommy Rees. When he was the starting quarterback for the Foresters, right? Lake Forest Foresters. So no, Scouts.
Yeah.
Lake Forest
the Forest Foresters.
Who are the Foresters?
No idea.
Make it up. It is Scouts. But anyway, did that story a long time ago. Now he's the OC?
Cleveland, the Browns.
Cleveland. Okay.
Good luck with that situation.
Yeah.
Tom is a good coach, man. So, and honestly, they look like they miss him a couple different places because he was at Alabama, he was at Notre Dame. All right, over-unders. Let's get into it.
All right. Our guy Nathan on Twitter had a couple good ones. First one, Caleb Williams sacked over under 3.5 times. I'm going to go under, but it might be 3.
I'm going to, I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to say it's under, but it's 3. It's a good over-under, though.
Very good.
It's a good number.
He said it right. He had another good one from Nathan. Over under sacks given up by Braxton Jones, 0.5.
Yeah, if I'm going to say he's getting sacked 3 times, I got to put at least 1 on number 70. So yeah, I'll take the over on that.
I'm looking up the stats quickly. So last year, Brian Flores got Caleb Williams
11 billion times.
No, not as many as you think. I got to look at the QB hits, but the first matchup, 3 sacks.
Caleb played well in the second matchup.
Second matchup, 2 sacks.
Okay.
Not bad. Next over under. This is from T. Marsh. Bears false starts 2.5.
Same thing. I'm going to take the under, but I'm going to say 2.
T. Marsh has been paying attention to training camp.
Right. But this is where you start to add up the negative plays, right? So let's say there's 2 false starts, there's 3 sacks, throw in a holding penalty in there. Now you got a handful of negative plays that are setting you back. And I think that's going to be I think there's going to be a lot of this early in the season where it's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Yeah.
And how much they can overcome that.
So I'll give you one myself. Over under false starts for Darnell Wright. Half.
Yeah. Here's my 2 false starts. One's on Darnell Wright. One is a cadence issue where like everybody moves but the ball doesn't get snapped.
Okay.
Yeah. Those are my 2 false starts.
This is from JD Dorsey. Bears trick plays. Half. I'm going over. You get 1.
Yeah, I think you get at least 1 too. Although he might have pulled the okie doke because I mentioned this on the show yesterday, I think, but he did an interview with Danny Parkinson. Danny was like, "What do you got up your sleeve for against the Vikings?" He's like, and I think he brought up the laterals.
Got some things up our sleeve, so.
Yeah, I'm not worried. Just don't use that one we've been seeing in practice.
Yeah, not that one.
Not that one. And I'm telling everybody, if we get that one, I will point it out that it is that one. If
Once
that's
it's
clear.
used, once it's used, we could say we saw it in practice. What if they run it and it works perfectly?
Then I will admit that I was wrong. Maybe they found the
Probably
answers on
not.
film. Yeah. I probably not that I'd admit that I'm wrong. Maybe.
All right.
From Avery. Over under backfield rushing attempts for DJ Moore. Half. I'm going to say over.
Yeah, I'm going to say over too. Especially because, Roshan Johnson's not practicing. So the running backs right now are DeAndre Swift, Kyle Monangai. Who am I forgetting? No, they only have 3 on the active roster. So they would have to elevate Britton Brown, right?
Yeah.
I think that's right.
This is what you're going to get. You're going to get DJ Moore lined up wide, and he's going to come running into the backfield, and that's how he's going to get his carry.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it's both. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets like 3 carries, and one time it's what you just said, and another time it's, he just lines up in the backfield. So, I will be keeping a close eye on this. The distribution of where DJ's lining up, how Rome is used. Is Rome going to be used as that X receiver more, which I think suits him, honestly, a little bit better? OZ versus Burden, how much they go for wide receivers. There's a lot of different things that they can do, but it's just a matter of how much they can handle. Because every time you play in a different wide receiver position, there's a different route you have to know to run on that specific play. It's not the same play. So that's where when we talk about what wide receivers can handle, and that's why OZ has been so trusted by this coaching staff right now, because they feel like he can line up anywhere and know exactly what to do on any given play. That's a huge weapon to have.
Make different things look the same.
Yeah,
what you're getting
the
at?
Same thing, and the same things look different.
So the same things look different.
We need to get that as a drop. That should be our Ben Johnson drop that we're looking for.
As he quotes John Shoup.
We'll work on that.
From St. Louis Bears fans, Shane Waldron mentions on the broadcast, line set at half. I'm going to say over. You get at least 1, as Mike Tirico describes, everything. Did I say Mike Tirico?
You did. It's Joe Buck. So Kevin's going to be upset about that. I guess Shane Waldron probably gets mentioned once. Just in passing. Like last year when Shane Waldron was here. Might be Troy Aikman saying it. Don't forget we got a Peyton and Eli simulcast going on Monday night too.
Oh, I mean, if we're talking about if that's going to be included, you're going to have way over.
Yeah, maybe. And then what I was talking about earlier, the last one, Griff, over under photos of JJ McCarthy in Bears gear, 2.5. I'd say over. Pre-game, mid-game, halftime.
Where they find his parents in the stands and they get like a picture side by side.
You know there's going to be that warm-up shot where he's in Vikings gear throwing, and then they go side by side. Here he is as a kid in Bears clothes.
Yeah, you might get 3.
When they go to the group of McCarthy's in the stands, how many of them are wearing Bears gear? You know there's going to be that one family member that is like, nah, I don't care. I got my Ditka jersey on. Don't care.
I don't care if he's my cousin.
You know,
you might get 2 or 3.
I was going to say, I'm going to set that over under at 2.5. It's like, so when they go to the shot and you see like they show his parents, they'll be wearing Vikings gear, obviously. But you know they're going to have a bunch of people there. So, like, who's the third cousin over here that's got the Caleb jersey on? And, like, how close to the, immediate family do you get? Like, where's that cutoff? You go, I don't know all of a sibling. Like, I can't imagine there'd be a sibling who would wear Bears gear. Maybe, though.
Nazareth
Uncle?
gear.
There's always that one.
Michigan gear. Someone's going to be in Michigan gear.
Someone goes neutral. Yeah, wearing Nazareth gear, really rooting for the Bears, but hoping JJ has a good game.
Yeah.
There's definitely an uncle wearing a Ditka jersey there. There's got to be. Come on.
Maybe not Ditka, Urlacher. Bring a little more current.
Yeah. All right. There's your over-unders with a little bonus one thrown in there. All right. It's that time, Johnsy. Let's do it. Predictions. Shout out to Ernie. Good having his voice still on the show. We have Monday Night Football. The Minnesota Vikings as a 1.5-point favorite at Soldier Field against the Chicago Bears. Who you got, Johns?
I have the Vikings winning by 3. Officially, I think I'm in with our friend Pat Norton for 23-20. Maybe it's 24-21, something like that, 26-23. I think JJ McCarthy has a better day. I think it helps that he's been in the system longer, albeit with not much playing time. But I think that matters in a situation like this, especially in the early season. I think Caleb Williams has good moments, but it's okay if there's growing pains, everybody. It's okay if this is a test of your patience. It's going to happen here early in week 1. I think the Vikings right now are just the better team at this point in the season. Maybe it's different by round 2 in their matchup, and we're talking about a different thing in Minnesota, but I got the Vikings winning by 3. Sorry, everyone.
Don't apologize. This is actually great news for the Bears, I believe, because somehow in week 1, and these are not on the fly. This has been submitted and is already posted on allchgo.com. I had the Vikings winning 23-20. We have the same exact.
Well, I did not know that. I didn't look at it.
I didn't know that either until right now, which is a bad job on me. I should have read the rest of our predictions this morning, which you should do right now. allchgo.com. You'll see it right there at the top of the page. You can also get predictions from Mark Carman, Patrick Norton, and Greg Braggs Jr. I got everybody in there. Here's where I'm at on this, and I think it had to do with some of that. You might have heard some of that in that conversation with Alec and earlier in the show, and me asking him about with the Vikings. I am skeptical that they are going to be able to stay healthy and give JJ McCarthy the environment they need all year to be consistent. So, but they have all those guys now. Not all of them, but most of them. I mean, we'll have to see about Christian Darrisaw, but I'm talking about mainly the interior guys that they signed on offense and defense. They're all healthy. I don't know if they'll be healthy in November when these two teams play. So I tend to think, believe it or not, the Bears lose this game, but go into Minneapolis later in the season in November and actually beat them there. Because I think the Bears offense will be more of a well-oiled machine by then. I think the start of the season is going to be bumpy. Not bad, bumpy. I think, like I said, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So, I mean, I think there's going to be a couple of explosive plays. It wouldn't shock me if Luther Burden has a touchdown in this. Like, if I was going to do a prop bet, I'd maybe sprinkle a little something on that, just to, on something that's a little bit more of a long shot because he's not going to play as many snaps, right? So, I think it could still be a fun game, but it's just hard to trust right now all the pre-snap issues we saw in training camp, plus the health issues on defense right now. TJ Edwards' injury, honestly, and we don't know right now. He might be fine by Monday. But where we're at right now, recording this on Friday morning, that was kind of the clincher where I was going back and forth on this game and really struggling with it. I think it's going to be a great game. The Bears very well could win, and it's probably a good thing for the Bears that you and I are both on the Vikings with the exact same score.
Yeah, I think the early season choppiness that we're all kind of anticipating, like I'd be surprised if it doesn't happen. Like maybe this game looks okay. Maybe Ben Johnson's able to surprise Brian Flores in that success that he had, well, the past couple seasons against Brian Flores carries over. But at the same time, we just saw too much inconsistency throughout training camp in the preseason to really feel good about what's ahead. I know he feels good about it, but maybe we just need to see more. And I think this early part of the season is going to test a lot of people's patience. Analysts like ourselves, reporters, pundits on TV, they're going to go crazy for sure. But this is going to take some time for Ben Johnson to really iron out things for Caleb Williams to figure out what works this season for him.
Bold predictions. So I kind of just gave it away, but I think Luther Burden scores a touchdown. That's my bold prediction.
I have Colston Loveland. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, and a possible punt return touchdown would count for that. He gets in the end zone somehow, some way in the game. Just want to put that qualifier in.
I think Colston Loveland leads the Bears in receptions, maybe not receiving yards.
Woo!
But leads the Bears in receptions, and he scores a touchdown.
Okay. Good night for the rookies then. That would be good. All right, we got 5 other games we got to get to close out the show. Here we go.
His quote, courtesy of Adam Hoge.
Fox, noon. I don't know why I'm laughing. Why is this our first game? Panthers at Jaguars.
I wanted, I thought about including all the games with JJ McCarthy starting, Michael Penix starting this year. Like, you have all the starting quarterbacks, like, of that draft class, of Caleb Williams' draft class, like, starting. And like, that's like, we could do that at any other point. But with the Panthers Jaguars, we got 2 former first-round pick quarterbacks, first overall pick quarterbacks, Trevor Lawrence and Bryce Young, going against each other as they try to reignite their careers.
Okay.
Not interesting to you?
No. Don't give me. I'm just surprised this was the first game. That's all. No, it actually is interesting to me. I think it's a sneaky, interesting game. Jaguars are a 3.5-point favorite, and I am actually going to take the Jags to cover that. I don't trust this Panthers defense. I think the Panthers will be a tough out a lot of times this season. But to me, the clincher in this one is that Liam Cohen, who I think this is going to be I think there's going to be plenty of weird, odd Liam Cohen, Trevor Lawrence, Travis Hunter. I think the Jaguars are going to be, they might be fun bad. We'll see. That might be just entertaining. That would be fun too. I'm going to always have an eye on Travis Hunter this season because I just find it fascinating. But the fact that Liam Cohen was in the NFC South last year, he knows this Panthers personnel pretty well too, and I think he's going to have a pretty decent game plan for. I think it's going to be mostly close, not like a blowout, but I do think the Jags cover the 3.5.
If we're going to look at like Caleb Williams' situation compared to Trevor Lawrence or Bryce Young, I think Caleb's got a better situation than these two first overall pick quarterbacks. As far as this game, yeah, I'm going to go with the Jaguars. I like the pairing with him and Liam Cohen. I really do. I think this is going to work. Maybe they win by 4, 5. Not a blowout by any means. Maybe it's a field goal that leads to the final margin. But I think the Jaguars, they're going to be a fun team with Travis Hunter, especially with him playing both ways.
I didn't hear all of it. I heard a lot about most of it, but what I did hear, I did not hear any of that.
CBS, noon, Steelers, 2.5-point favorite at the New York Jets. One of, I don't know, is this Aaron Rodgers' revenge tour? What are we calling this? He's got the Packers later in the year. He's got all the NFC North teams, plus opening the season against the Jets where things didn't go right. I don't know what we call this, but I do think the Steelers are correctly favored in this game.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Just a strangely interesting Bears-esque matchup that doesn't include the Bears with Aaron Rodgers and Justin Fields facing each other. I saw a clip the other day of Justin Fields being asked about how it's going to feel to face his former team. And like, I immediately saw this. I'm like, he's not playing the Bears this weekend. I think that year in Pittsburgh is, I don't even know what to call that year in Pittsburgh for Justin Fields, but
forgettable.
Yeah. So give me the Steelers winning by 3. I'm not sure how good Aaron Rodgers is anymore, and I'm not sure how much really life is left in Mike Tomlin's run with the Steelers, but this seems to be it. But I think it's a good start. The Jets are still the Jets. Give me the Steelers winning by 3.
Yeah, I put this in my first power rankings column of the year. By the way, I'll be doing some additional NFL analysis for all of our all-city markets this year. So part of that, I will be having a weekly power rankings column, which is up right now. You can read it on any of our sites, but since we're in Chicago, go to allchgo.com. You'll find it. But I did put for the Pittsburgh Steelers that Mike Tomlin hitching his wagon to Aaron Rodgers in such a crucial year remains the most bizarre decision of 2025 to me. I mean, this guy is just like destroying organizations. And Tomlin this is not a franchise that's made good quarterback decisions since Ben Roethlisberger retired. So it just seems like a weird pairing to me, and I just can't imagine it lasts the whole season.
What type of season do you think Justin Fields will have?
I think a lot of the same. I've said this many times. I feel like I think he is I guess go to Sando. He's a tier 4 quarterback. He's worthy of starting, but he's never going to speed up his process. And I think it just depends who he's playing. But going up against the Steelers in week 1, that defense is still good. I don't really necessarily like that matchup. I think he's going to run a lot when he can, but he's never going to be going through 4 reads across the field and deliver the ball on time. That's not his thing.
I think he's going to hit 1,000 rushing yards this season.
There you go. Okay. I do find it interesting that Aaron Glenn went and got him, though, because Aaron Glenn knew him from the division, defended him, defended against him. I mean, that there is a little bit of a sign of respect in there, at least, that Aaron Glenn was like, okay, I got this brand new job. Finally, a head coach. I'm going to go get Justin Fields. They must have a plan for him. You know what I mean? So I think I
feel like that plan is going to feature a lot of running.
Yeah, I think Justin stays the starter. Like, I don't think he's going to bust out in the middle of the season. But at the same time, I don't necessarily think they're going to be dominant and smooth and all that. I think it's going to be a lot of what you saw in Chicago, which was okay, but not great. Why the Bears moved on, All right. Next one.
Show a little voodoo to the quarterback and just get on the edge of a tackle and get a ton of sacks without pressuring.
CBS 305. Is that right? That's got to be the 325 game. Yeah, 325. on CBS. The Lions at the Packers. This is your late afternoon, big game of the week, whatever they call it on CBS. I know it's America's game of the week when it's on Fox, but this is the CBS game. We'll get Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, big one at Lambeau to start the year. And the Packers, you put it in here 1.5. I'm seeing 2.5. What is it?
I got it 1.5 yesterday.
Okay.
I imagine that line will change a bit. Let's see what we got.
Well, honestly, it doesn't matter because I have the Lions winning.
By a lot? Or covering?
No, I think the Lions still are the team to beat in this division. I do think that they regress. We did our predictions on CHGO yesterday. I have the Lions going 11-6 this year. But here's the thing about trading Kenny Clark. It's great they have Micah Parsons. Their run defense isn't going to be as good, and I still think the Lions are going to be able to run the football. Jahmyr Gibbs is still really, really good. So, yeah, kind of just a gut feeling on this one. Plus, Micah with his back, is he limited? Does he play? How effective is he? All those things are questions. So I am taking the Lions to not only cover, but to win outright.
Yeah, I see it at 2.5 now. ESPN had it at 1.5 yesterday. My prediction with the Lions is at some point they're going to hit some ugliness this season where the loss of their coordinators is going to matter.
Yeah,
where other teams start to pick up on the tendencies of the replacements, and I'm not sure Ben Johnson's easily replaceable. I think he's that good, or could be that good, or has been that good for the Lions. They do win this one. I know there's a lot of energy right now in Green Bay because of the Micah Parsons trade, but I'm guessing the Lions and that offensive line will have an answer for him early on, especially week 1. Micah Parsons has not practiced in some time. So give me the Lions winning by a touchdown.
Just remember that, and I agree with you on that. That's why I have the Lions, quote unquote, regressing down to 11 wins, which is significant. They won 15 games last year.
Yeah.
I do think you cannot say that losing both coordinators won't hurt them. It will. On the other side, the reason why I have them winning a game like this and still winning 11 games this year is because their defense will be healthier. That defense was good last year before they got demolished by injuries, including Aiden Hutchinson, who, by the way, if he's healthy, what, this for a bold prediction?
Bold predictions.
He's my defensive player of the year. So they're still going to have that guy. And he can wreck games. All this talk about Micah Parsons, don't forget about Hutchinson, because he might be actually the guy who wrecks this game in week 1. So I'll be glued to the TV, though. It's a great game, especially with the Bears not playing on Sunday. We'll be able to lock in on it. Going up against it at the same time, the Houston Texans, a tough week 1 matchup, having to go to Los Angeles and play Sean McVay and the Rams. Rams are a 3.5-point favorites.
Was it Kevin we talked about CJ Stroud with?
I know we talked a lot of things with Kevin.
Yeah, we talked a lot about his podcast. I'm going to take the Rams in this one. I know Matthew Stafford missed some time in training camp, but to the point of the conversation we had earlier, I just don't have a feel on the Texans in terms of where they are or how good they are. Or I know they play in a pretty bad division, which helps their playoff standings or their playoff hopes, their chances. But give me the Rams winning by 4.
Okay. I have the Texans winning outright.
Whoa.
Yeah. I think their defense is pretty loaded up front. I don't think the Rams have a good offensive line. I do think both these teams are playoff teams this year, but week 1 can be wacky, and I think this is going to be one of the surprise outcomes in week 1. The Houston Texans going in there and winning.
With regard to some of your unproven players, I guess, like, Shea and Fuller and even Tim at nickel, how patient can you for it to be early in the season with how they do? You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's a great expectation of winning games, and you've got some unknowns here. Do you have to be more patient? Can you not be as patient? I mean, how difficult is it?
I can't create a hypothetical on how I'm going to feel. I can't do that. I mean, I can't. I don't know how I'm going to feel. I know how I feel right now. I feel real good. You know.
That's a classic. That's an oldie.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
10 years old.
Yeah, they might be
11
12.
years. Wow.
Might be 11 or 12. Yeah. All right.
Tim
Last
McNichol.
one.
Who's Tim McNichol?
No, Tim at Nickel. That would be Tim Jennings.
Oh, Tim at Nickel.
Tim at Nickel. Yeah.
Tim McNichol.
Who's Tim McNichol?
No.
NBC, what a Sunday nighter to kick things off. 7:20. The Ravens are 1.5-point favorites at the Buffalo Bills, where they lost in the playoffs, the divisional round, that heartbreaker with Mark Andrews dropping that pass in the end zone. Sorry about that. You get to go right back there to start the season. Do the Ravens get their revenge? How about the Ravens being favored in this one?
Yeah. I like the Ravens winning this one. But if we fast forward 18, 20 weeks from now, and this is a matchup again, I'm taking the Bills.
Okay. I got the Bills. I think the Bills this is their year. I'm all in. They're my Super Bowl pick. And if you're going to be a Super Bowl team, win 15 games like I have them winning this year and getting the 1 seed in the AFC, which to me is really the key. If they're going to win the Super Bowl, they have to have the home game against the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, or the Ravens. But I think it's probably Chiefs, Bills again. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, get that home game. It'll be the last game ever in that stadium. But to get all that, they play. You got to beat the Ravens. You got to beat the Chiefs. They play both in the regular season. So you got to win those games. They're crucial. This is an absolutely crucial game. With that in mind, with Super Bowl in mind, even though it's only week 1, you got to think that way if you want home field advantage. I think the Ravens get it. I'm sorry. I think the Bills get it done at home.
Okay.
Yeah. Can I give you my lock? Because it wasn't one of these games that we did. And then we can get out of here.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
The Commanders are 6-point favorite over the New York Giants at home. And I think this is your wacky week 1 result. I think the Giants go in there and win. So I am locking the Giants with that 6 points. I don't think it's going to be a great year necessarily for the Giants. But look, Russell's going to have enough to me to go there and have maybe a good start to the season before it gets ugly. I think it's going to be weird. There's still talent on that Giants team, especially that defensive line now with Abdul Carter. And I think by so we'll be doing our next game preview episode by Friday morning next week. By then, the Commanders will have already played 2 games because they go to Lambeau on Thursday night in week 2. And I bet you by next Friday, we, not just us, but like on Get Up and Good Morning Football and all these shows next Friday, they're talking about how defensive coordinators, whatever, have already adjusted to Cliff Kingsbury. And there's a regression with the Commanders offense. I still think Jaden Daniels is going to be good. Don't get me wrong. I'm talking kind of like CJ Stroud's year or 2 last year. Like there was an adjustment. There were some issues. And I just talking to people around the league, they think Cliff Kingsbury's done a really good job of scheming things up for him, but it's not necessarily terribly complex. The reads are not necessarily complex. And I think there's going to be an adjustment, especially against the Packers next week when Jeff Hafley's got that opportunity. So, but I think it starts this week. I think this is your surprise game. I'm locking the Giants.
Well, what's the second half cliff? Is that what they used to say? It didn't really happen last year, but now you have a full season of game tape up, and it's really on Cliff Kingsbury to grow and expand, well, his package, as Dow Loggins would once say. By the way, have you seen the pic of Dow Loggins after his first win?
No. App State?
Yeah. Yeah. Talk about a glow up.
Oh, I haven't even seen it. Should I Google it right now? Is it like a specific photo? Dow
Look at
logins, App State win. What do we put in here?
Hold on. I'll text it to you because Kevin sent it to me.
That's usually something Kevin would text. By the way, you know who? I was watching South Carolina, Katie's school. And Joe D. Camillus is their defensive or is their special teams coordinator.
Really?
Yeah. All of a sudden because they ran a great return against the Shield and a great punt return against Shield, and they shouted out Joe D. Camillus. And I'm like, that was a great scheme. That was phenomenal. Great job, Joe D.
I sent you the pic. See it?
We're bringing everybody back on this show. This is like a reunion show. We also need to get out of here. All right, what do we got here? I'm looking. Oh, yeah, okay. Just the Ray-Bans and the beard and everything.
There it
He
is.
looks good. I was like, yeah. Johnson's. If you're watching on YouTube, Johnson's putting it on the screen. I always like Dow. I like talking to Dow.
Same here.
Happy for him. Head coach at App State, in case you didn't know. It was a good football program. So good luck to him. All right. We are out of here. There's been a long game week preview, whatever this is now. And but they're usually this way. So appreciate you being here. Listening, please hit that like button. Please subscribe on YouTube. Check out all of our work at allchgo.com. Got some special things coming your way next week as well. And rate and review the podcast if you're listening the old school way, like I do. Appreciate you all. However you're consuming the show, buy the merch. It's in the store at All City. All the shirt I'm wearing today. Johnson's got other CHGO gear on, and our Die Hard deal is still going on right now. Not the original one, but the current one where you can upgrade to the tailgate tier, which we probably should have covered early in the show. Are you coming Monday or not?
Yeah.
You are.
No. Well, the bid is I'm not, so maybe.
Probably not.
You'll have to go to see.
Okay. You cause a lot of stress in the Discord from what I see. People are freaking out.
I'll be there for week 1.
There we go. There's a commitment. That's what we like to see. So if you would like to basically pay for your own diehard thing or tailgate, if you're going to come Monday and you haven't bought the tickets, go become a diehard if you're not already a diehard. And there's the tailgate tier. It includes 2 free tickets to a tailgate every single year you're in that tier. It's a great deal. Go check it out. We are out of here. We will be back Tuesday morning, 9 a.m. I think 9, right? Yeah, 9 a.m. live. We try to go live for you, post-game episode. So it's the morning after, but we'll digest everything overnight. We won't sleep at all, and then we'll come talk about it with you here on Tuesday morning. See if the Bears are 1-0 or 0-1. Enjoy the game. We'll talk to you Tuesday.